deny in the last few years the Australian retail market has really been shaken up. We're seeing some of the biggest sectors affected by this, and obviously some of the local brands are trying to fight back, fight a tide of consumer demand. What do you see some of the key reasons and lessons other industries are about to ride the wave of e-commerce could take from retail?
Yeah, so my heritage is really from physical retail, so multi-channel or physical products, for the sort of stuff from Woolworths, Tesco might sell. And what I see consistently is that where the retailer or the industry takes strong leadership around moving the business from traditional retail into digital retail or multi-channel, then it tends to be successful. The key failure that I see is a lack of leadership, a lack of commitment, and underestimating what is actually involved in building an entirely new channel for your business. So we've dealt with the consumer, and now B2B is starting to wake up around the fact that there's a huge opportunity around helping businesses order products from their suppliers more efficiently, without as much administration, and more seamlessly. So I think B2B is going to be the big next space in Australia and around the world.
Glenn, I'm sure you've seen this, the end user needs are evolving. What have you seen over your time, and how have you changed and how you connect to your customers digitally over the years?
Probably this is something that's not peculiar to us, this is peculiar to everyone online. The consumption now by convenience method, be it mobile, tablet, basically with e-commerce, our demand now, we've got clients who say unless you're offering a mobile solution or a convenience solution, then they're simply going to go and look to the next provider. And all the stats are indicating that consumption, both from a content, is also the same from a e-commerce perspective. So probably the biggest thing is how people are consuming e-commerce, and then the second part of that is how they're actually then completing the e-commerce transaction. Now mobile payments and micropayments are now very much part and parcel of what you have to offer if you're in the e-commerce space. So it's been how people are consuming e-commerce, how people are paying for e-commerce, and probably the third wave that everyone's now grappling with is how do I make sure that the fulfillment piece that I've now gone and created this new channel is able to handle the additional sales that I'm generating through this new technology.
Research states that 90% of e-commerce projects are unsuccessful. So I'm going to ask Matt if you've got any insight on why that may be, and more importantly, how do you avoid that?
Why do things fail? I think there's a number of factors. One is that people don't really appreciate the effort that goes into getting this right and making it easy for clients to do business with you. Going back to that other point, the depth of thinking that needs to go into everything from payments, loyalty, fulfillment strategies, content, channels, the integration complexities that come with that are phenomenal, and typically that gets way underestimated and people start to cut corners, and I think that's a big factor in why they don't get it right, and then customers don't want to do business. They find it easier to do business with competitors. They just don't generate the traffic.
Could I maybe just ask the panel, in their opinion, what's the single best investment that organisations can make in technology to support this e-commerce change, this multi-channel experience? Is there one or two things that you'd recommend, whether it be people or the system to support that?
I think one of the key points we made earlier was strong leadership, having the right personnel in place to be able to drive the project. The project won't fail in most cases because of the software. It'll fail because of the implementation. So I think having a very clear reference point to where you want to be and having the people in play that'll actually get you there.
What about the risks involved? So as organisations embark on an e-commerce project here, what about the risks of integrating that with their traditional business?
I think the biggest risk is not managing the risks. So if you're doing something in a complex organisation and you're going to do something like e-commerce, then you need to take risks very seriously, and you actually need to have a risk log, you need to have a review of the risks, you need to have people putting risk management processes in place, all that sort of stuff.
How do you see the trend of integrating into e-commerce platforms and the strategies of content marketing? What do organisations need to consider around that?
The thing that we always see is that organizations massively underestimate the effort involved in developing product content. So I was chatting to somebody the other day, and he was saying there's two things that always go wrong with his e-commerce projects. It's underestimating IT integration and then forgetting or underestimating the complexity of capturing product content. So product content in itself requires a strategy around people, a strategy around process, and a strategy around technology.
I just want to thank you all, thank the panel for their time today. Hopefully you found that useful. So thank you, enjoy the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.